Weight loss hypnotherapy, the final frontier. If you can become good at this, or even brilliant at this, which you can do and you will do, you will never be out of work. You will always have clients. For as long as you live, there will be people who need to lose weight. Now, there is a difference between weight loss hypnotherapy and other habitual behaviours that you're going to change. The main one being that with things like smoking or cannabis or cocaine or heroin, people can live their life forever without one of those drugs. But we have to eat. So it's an ongoing thing. So rather than saying it will be a change in their behaviour, but it's an ongoing change in their behaviour. If you like, you're going to speak to your clients about changing their lifestyle as well as changing their habitual ways of living. So the first thing we need to do, as we do with all of our clients and all the things we do, we're going to ask the client what they want. Now, with weight loss in general, your client's going to tell you what they don't want. They're going to say, I don't want to be overweight, I don't want to feel like this anymore, I don't want to be uncomfortable. They'll tell you things they don't want. You have to ask that question, what do you want? And they'll say, well, realistically, if I could lose a couple of stone, that'd be okay. You need to get them to drop the word realistic, and I always say, look, drop the word realistic and tell me what you really want. If I could wave a magic wand, you could be any weight you want to be, what weight would you be? And then you'll get to that answer. So if I could be 10.5 stone, I'd feel fantastic. So you'll say, right, that's the goal we're going to hit. So I give my clients a piece of paper and I say to them, look, I want you to write down the weight you'd love to be. And they write that down. I ask them the question, do you know what weight you are now? And in general, they'll know roughly what weight they are now. So let's say they need to lose 4 stone. So you say, okay, 4 stone, we're going to lose this at about £2 a week on average. So we take the 4 stone and we convert that into pounds. 4 stone is £56. We say we're going to lose this at £2 a week, so we halve that 56, that gives us 28, and that will basically give you the amount of weeks you need to lose that weight. So we can then project that out. 28 weeks is 7 months, and let's say at the time of this recording it's May, we say okay, 7 months, that's December. Are there any special dates in December, any birthdays, anniversaries, memorable dates? And if they tell you one, then you can say, okay, write that down, date to achieve goal, and put that date down. And you explain to them the reason we do this is, one, for a goal to be achievable, it has to be an exciting goal. Something that's going to get you working, something that's going to get you up in the morning, something to get you foregoing that cake and that biscuit. And it also has to be time bound, because most people think, oh, I'm going to lose some weight at some point in the future. That's not any good. For me, that's a woolly goal. So you get them to state exactly what they want to be, an exciting goal, and you get to make it time bound. So now you've got those two things. You've written them down, or they've written them down. I will say to my clients, now I'd like you to write down as many as you can, but as many reasons to lose the weight as you can think of, but they must all start with I will or I can. So I will feel great, I'll be able to wear the clothes that I want, I can run up the road with my kids. As many as you can think of, and tell them to keep writing, and as many times as they can. And while they're doing this, while they're writing down their goals in this positive way, I always run this story. Now, whether it's a story, whether it's true, I believe it is true, that in 1953, some psychologists went into Harvard University and they asked the graduating students that year how many had written down their life goals. Only 3% had written down their life goals. Now, they followed this survey up 20 years later, and the 3% that had written down their life goals had achieved more in financial terms than the other 97% put together. So I'll run that little story, and I'll say and explain to them, because we now know by MRI scanning and brain scanning that when someone's writing down and committing their goals to paper, they're actually forming new neuro pathways towards achieving their goals. So not just for this weight loss, and not just for them, but for us as well. For you, write down your goals. It's really important that we put and commit our goals to paper. Something actually biologically, physically happens in our brain when we do that. So I explain that to them while I'm writing down their goals, and I say, okay, now I want you to do this. Make a commitment to yourself, just to yourself in your head, and then when you've done that, sign the bottom of the paper. And I get them to do this, and I say, look, no one has to know about this. You're going to take this piece of paper with you, but now you've set your goal, that is a goal you're going to hit. So having explained this to them, I say, look, we have a super powerful unconscious mind, and it wants us to be well, and it wants us to be happy, and that's what it exists for. And to prove how powerful it is, I'm going to show you just how powerful your mind is. I'm not going to take you to a trance, I'm going to show you how powerful your mind is, but you need to use your imagination and concentration for a moment. Then I get into the finger lock. Now once their fingers are locked and their eyes are closed, I'll get them to see themselves having achieved the goal they want to achieve, and see themselves out there in December with their family, looking, feeling great, having achieved that goal. Get them to see it, get them to step into their body and feel what it feels like. Make it as exciting as you can, because you know that when they're actually experiencing that, you've changed and altered their emotional state. Now this is the opportunity very early on in your therapy session to give them a very direct suggestion. My suggestion is always, from today, the need to snack, boredom eat, comfort eat will be gone from your mind, and the weight is going to drop off you. And I get that suggestion in 2 or 3 times while they're in that state with their fingers locked, seeing themselves and feeling what it feels like to achieve their goal. I then say, in a moment I'm going to reach over and just touch your hand. As I touch your hand, you're going to feel an incredible energy transfer from me to you. It will kickstart your metabolism and start to move the weight off you even as we speak. Your eyes will open, you'll feel incredible, you'll be ready for your next instructions. I reach over, touch their hand. Their hands come unstuck, their eyes open. They've now had, early on in their session, a real experience of hypnosis and hypnotic phenomena. I then get into how we learn things, in the same way as we talk about smoking or talking about phobias, how as human beings we have an ability to learn things, they become automatic, and once they become automatic, our brain just does it for us, like driving, like reading, like walking, like tying your shoelaces up. Now once the client's experienced the finger lock and you've given that early direct suggestion, I then get into the explanation of how we learn, in the same way as we learn to drive, we learn to do our shoelaces up, and how our mind enables us to learn things to the point where we become automatic. And eating for comfort, eating for boredom is just one of those learnt behaviours, like all those other behaviours and other things that we learn. Once you explain this to your client, and you explain that, like with other learned habitual behaviours, hypnotherapy can get directly to the programming, if you like, and then change that, they will get this. You know, you get round to that question early on about, because you don't want to look like this anymore, you don't want to feel like this anymore. You'd like to lose the weight, and they say yes. And you say, but it's almost like there's a part of you continues to snack, comfort eat, overeat, boredom eat, even though it's killing you and you no longer want to do it. And they'll say yes. And then you get into saying, well, and while I'll hypnotise you, I'll speak to that part of you that's running your eating and weight control behaviour. It will communicate. I will ask it to go to your creative mind and find lots of new choices, lots of new ways of eating, exercising that are fun and enjoyable to do. And I always say to people that if over these next 6-7 months while you're losing this weight, if it's not fun, if it's not enjoyable, do not do it. Because if it's not enjoyable and fun, it won't last. Most people have had an experience of dieting and they can do that for a period of time, but sooner or later they have to eat normally. So explain to your client, I want you to find a way of living, a way of eating, a way of exercising that's fun and enjoyable to do, that will lead you effortlessly to that goal. Now, once you've done this, you obviously can explain, give them some ideas. People lack imagination when it comes to losing weight. They think they've got to starve themselves, they've got to eat rabbit food to lose weight. If you can give them some decent ideas, small changes they can make, drink a bit more water, find some fun ways of moving, whether that's dancing, swimming, aerobics, things that they love to do, something they enjoy doing, walking, but it has to be enjoyable. Get them to use their imagination, ways of getting their heart working. If it's someone who does their own housework, I was going to say woman then, but politically incorrect. If it's a person that does their own housework, and get them to do it at a pace. Turn that housework into something that's working for them towards their goal. But you have to use your imagination. People sometimes lack imagination, sometimes it's just education. they don't understand the way their body works and how they can lose weight. So give them some ideas, give them some enjoyable, fun ways of losing that weight. The other thing I would suggest is that as hypnotherapists, we strive to be the best we can be ourselves. There is a lack of credibility if the hypnotherapist is overweight and they're saying to the person, the client, I can help you lose weight. Now, it's totally legitimate, as far as I'm concerned, to be 5, 6 stone overweight, 3 stone overweight, whatever. If you're perfectly happy at that weight that you are, whether you're 4, 5, 6 stone overweight, you still have a right to sit in your chair and say to the person in the other chair, I can help you lose weight. But if you personally are not happy with the way you feel, the way you look, the weight you are, and you're not striving to change that, then I don't believe we have a right to sit in our chair and say, I can help you achieve what you want to achieve. But I know, having done this work and when you do this work, your own limitations to drop away, they have to. You can't have the same fears and anxieties you had before you started helping other people lose theirs. And it's the same with physical limitations. They tend to drop away once you're helping other people and seeing other people achieve their goals. So you've got them to write down their goals in a positive way. You've got them to state a date to hit the goal, so that's now time bound. You've explained the way that we learn things. You've given them an early experience of hypnosis and hypnotic phenomena, and you've explained how there's a part of us that's running this behaviour and how you're going to speak to that part and get them to find something else to do. You're then going to run your preferred hypnotic induction, lead them to the parts negotiation and run the parts negotiation. You're going to speak directly to the part of them that runs their eating and weight control and metabolism. That's how I name it. You can name it how you like, but it seems a simple way to do it. I'm going to speak directly to the part of you that runs your eating, weight control, metabolism. It will communicate. I'll ask it to go and find enjoyable ways of living, enjoyable ways of eating, fun ways of exercising that will lead you effortlessly towards your goal. So you then run your parts negotiation. When that part's off searching, you're going to run your preferred technique in the middle of that search that that part's on. For me, I'll normally run a metaphor, which I think the invisible barriers is a good metaphor for weight loss, because those invisible boundaries that people put around themselves, I can't lose the weight, I've tried everything. Once you explain to them that it's just an invisible boundary, and of course they can go through it, of course they can achieve this goal, that's a good metaphor to run in the middle of your weight loss session. You can, if they have a specific time in their life. When I was 5 years old, I was made to eat all my dinner and I had to sit there and eat a cold dinner, whatever it was. You can, with regression, take them back, look at it again, reassess it, let go of the emotion that's attached. There will be times when people come in and their weight loss is due to abuse as a child. Again, you can use regression to do that. But that's your judgment call and how you're going to work with it. Explain to your client that you're going to be on this journey with them, and you're going to be working with them over the next 7, 8 months, or for as long as it takes to achieve their goal, and you'll see them on a regular basis, maybe 5, 6 weeks at a time. Now, in your second session, they are going to will have lost some weight. At that session, you're going to give them some ego boosting. You're going to tell them how proud you are of them, because you will be, how proud they should feel of their self for achieving those goals, and you're going to run your next technique, whatever that might be. Anchoring for positivity is a good one to use. Regression, just some positive relaxation. But you'll find those things to use over those sessions. As I said at the beginning of this recording, when you get this right, you will be inundated with work. There is always someone looking to lose weight. Most people want to feel good about themselves, and weight is one of those things. For as long as you live, you will always have people visiting you, wanting your help to help them lose weight. So I wish you all the best with this. I know you're going to be incredible. I know you're going to change people's lives with your abilities that you've learned and your ongoing learning.